I'm William Nozak, and in this module, I'm covering internal linking. What is internal linking? It's a hypertext link that points to another page within the same website. Internal links can be used as a form of navigation. You've got the top nav, side nav, bottom nav, internal links in the body content. Links assist with creating good information architecture within the site. Certainly the most linked to things, I'm talking internal links here, should be the most important resources on the site. Search engines, and it's not always the case. Search engines also use internal text links to crawl pages within a website. So whenever they crawl the site and they crawl a link that says learn more, sweet, I should get over there and find some content about learn more because this website's really trying to rank for learn more, right? Wrong. So we always want to use that anchor text to tell the bot, the spider, the algorithm, what can they find over there? Usually want to use keywords, keyword clouds, synonyms, variants, a phrase. So the way internal links are structured will impact the way in which the search engine, bots, spiders, and subsequently index a site's pages. Basics of internal linking. We're going to talk about the anchor text, the penguin update, link tracking, structural decisions, target keywords, fixing an internal linking problem, link opportunities, setting up an internal linking strategy, breadcrumb navigation, link depth, and static keyword rich URLs. Cover all of these. So how links historically influence search engine rankings. Okay, so the concept of using links as a way to measure sites' importance created by Google. Sure, we'll give it to them. PageRank algorithm was that early algorithm where all these links kind of determined what was on the other side or what the bot allowed that page to rank for on the other side of that link. SEOs abused it and overused it, and so things have changed over time. So certain links in a website carry more weight, right? You can't just color code your links, drop them in the HTML so only the bots can see them. All this bad black hat SEO stuff. Like now the location and the content, it all matters. So top nav, body nav, footer nav, these are kind of like general sections and they just carry less weight in a site. Now, granted, they can help a bot understand the hierarchical structure of a website, but really those body links, they carry so much weight when it comes to here's an anchor text, naturally fitting in some content and what's on the other side of that. So certain links carry more weight. Linking articles that cover related material can help search engines ascertain how relevant a web page is to a particular topic. So if I have a piece of content and I'm covering everything about it, this is the complete guide to XYZ. In that document, if I'm linking to relevant additional content, what I like to call ancillary pieces or horizontal pieces, super important. This complete guide is going to cover all these things, but people that usually read this complete guide also want to know about these other things. Sweet, there's a complete guide to that topic, and there's a complete guide to topic C. So in this, I'm linking to complete guide to A. This is complete guide B, linking also to complete guide C. And any other relevant pieces of content. I also want to link upward vertically to things that might get people back into my pipeline because we don't want this complete guide outranking a page that actually is built to have people get into our pipeline, and then all of a sudden our DIY page or our content page is outranking the page that's actually supposed to convert people and get them down the funnel. We certainly want those to have different user intents on how Google presents them in the SERPs. So we really want to set it up in the content, always somewhere in that top portion of the content, linking back to those vertical pages that are really our most important convertible pages. And usually those are vertical in, like if we're looking at a hierarchy, we'd say those convertible pages, those interior pages or service pages, they really are more important than these complete guides. So linking articles that cover related material, relevant ways to build internal linking, frequently bought together. You've seen e-commerce sites do this, but you can also do this with blogs, related blog topics within a certain category or within a certain tag. People use categories and tags to get more internal links down to these additional posts. They usually are outside of the body and kind of sections that bots understand. These are additional links. That's why they're really best to embed in the content of the post. Have a site structure that allows for cross-linking. Certainly we want the bots to be able to get to other resources that maybe we wrote 5 years earlier but are still relevant, still winning. So we would maybe go back to that article that's on page 10 of our blog roll, add some internal links on that one because it's winning, to the new one we just wrote because it is relevant. Hopefully we didn't wait 5 years to write a new relevant post, and vice versa. Link down to that post with an appropriate anchor text and appropriate place on the site. So anchor text, again, SEOs, if they can abuse something, they will, and Google will have to make a change. And so once upon a time, SEOs just exact match anchor text, exact match anchor text, because the bots look at internal links and external links very similarly. And so a robust internal linking structure goes a long way for a site that doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of external links other than maybe to the homepage. So you can't just use exact match over and over again. You can't. It comes across as spammy to bots. What you want is like a keyword infused anchor text that has the keyword, but it's within a phrase. And you want to anchor text synonyms and other words that we're using that anchor text or that keyword cloud pointing back to that post. Now, we don't want to get outside of a tight keyword cloud. We want to use one keyword cloud to always link to a certain post. And we want to use that anchor text to splice two blogs that are very similar. So if I have a blog, ABC about X and a blog ABC, well, usually in my anchor text, I'm on the rest of the site, I'm linking that anchor text to ABC. But if there's a certain place that I need to link down to ABC about X, I'm using my anchor text to really tell bots that this is really different. This is ABC about X. Whereas anytime I reference most things about ABC, I really want those anchor texts in that large anchor text cloud to be just going to ABC. We use our anchor text to splice those things out for bots. Broad-minded approach, descriptive text, avoiding click here, learn more. Oh my gosh, please don't waste your anchor text. Use it to help the bots understand when they hit that link and go to that page, what it's gonna find there before it ever gets there. That's good for users too. The Penguin update was really to kill certain types of content that were like thin content that was winning in Google. So it reduced web spam, just spammy things that were winning in the SERPs. And it helps encourage more high quality content, links that Google doesn't like, articles, directories, cheap directories, excessive rich anchor text. When you would look, you would see like 10 websites using the same template, and it would just be like 10 different URLs and they all be doing the same thing, and Google did a good job of just kind of killing those sites out of the directory. So link tracking, keep a document of links over time that these individual pages earn, and so that would be external links coming in, and then also we want to pay attention to our internal linking structure as well. There are some tools you can use to see page rank. And you really want to pay attention to page rank within a website. Which of these pages on our site are the most linked to pages? Are those the ones that are supposed to be receiving the most links? And then the next question is, if the answer is no, what can we do to increase the links on the pages that we really feel like should have the most internal links? So with this tracking link growth, how it's affecting the search rankings can be analyzed. You're always watching your internal links, your link graph grow, internal links from domains, and how many links from those domains are we getting. We want to see that over time grow. Obviously, we don't want these spammy spikes. We really want it to look like a natural occurring wedge. And then you can see in real time how many more keywords we get as the authority of the site grows. They really grow together. They still are super important. Now, internal links are the same way. We want to treat internal links on the site that it's going to provide massive value, because there are going to be certain resources on your website that are going to gain natural links way easier than other things that are on the website. So we want to take that authority coming down onto those pages and spread that wealth to other pages that could be more convertible or produce more clicks that are lower down the funnel and really lead to leads. We also have to be careful, because if we try to force it, we can actually ruin those pages. We don't want to force a link to something that's not related. So link tracking, super important. Get it in a document. Internal links from that page to others, from those pages to it. External links coming into that page. Structural decisions, your anchors are everything in regard to structural pieces. Not everything, it's one of those everything things. One of the most basic decisions to make about a website concerns internal linking, navigational structures, which are generally mapped out in the site architectural document. Right, what's in your main nav matters. Usually those little things are going to be featured links, like when someone looks up your name and your main profile pops up in the Google SERPs, and then you're getting these little featured links. A lot of times it's kind of looking at that main nav or what people go to more often. We can look in Google Analytics and see where people go the most. We can also see their journey, where they go from the home page to this page to back to this page. Those things give us an idea of what should be the most accessible items in a main nav. We want the main nav to make sense, how people navigate our website. How can we get them into our funnels? How can we walk them down the funnel and give them what they need? Whether it's utilitarian pages that link down to a second level, or if it's just obvious services or a services drop down. And maybe if they look at who our team is or who's on our team and that's a part of the buying process, then we might have that in the main nav. But if it has no bearing on a client, we might move that to a footer nav for the very few people that really do want to learn about our team. So there are many aspects of determining linking structures for a site. It's a major usability issue because visitors make use of the links to surf around the website. That's why you're wanting to use Hotjar. You'll want to use Full Story. You'll want to use products where you can get a heat map on the site. You can use Google Analytics to see, what pages do people most often visit. You'll also be able to get in Google Analytics and we'll look at these things and see what is the way people travel on your site most often. But Hotjar is great. It gives you heat maps. You can record sessions. Full Story is great. It can show you rage clicks and what people are doing on the site so you can make UI changes. And A/B testing is great too. Target keywords. Keyword research is critical to everything, especially SEO. Now, SEO and brand messaging, they're two that you have to work together. You have to blend it so one, that the product and the company looks unique and is sellable and people can fall in love with it. At the same time, it has to rank in Google. So we're usually writing content and then putting a layer of SEO on top of it. What search terms do people use when they're searching for your product and service? And does that match up with your best use case? Does it match up with your avatars? These people searching this way, are they the clients we want? Sometimes those big groups aren't necessarily the clients that we want because they don't match up with our product exactly. Maybe our product was made as a alternative to those large brand companies that are waiting for those large terms, and their product fits for that. But then there's this small use case that is looking for your product or service this way. And so how we tailor the content and the pages will help you rank for those things. And you can't always get out of main queries and main searches that bring people that aren't the best clients for you. However, you want to try to win those battles with your content. So ultimately, the logical structure of your pages should match up with the way users think about product services like yours. Don't recreate the mousetrap. If there are other websites out there and they're set up a certain way, then certainly you should go with that. If people are used to navigating that site, someone's already spent the money to brand it, they've already got ad dollars out the wazoo, so people are used to hitting it. They come to yours, you don't want them having to learn how to navigate your website. Fixing internal linking problems. With enterprise sites, they're super large. You've got years and years of content, pages, rebuilds, different CMSs that were used with different ending languages from trailing slash to .html. And so these internal link structures, they have to be taken care of. They have to be manicured and cleaned. They need to be tracked in a document. There needs to be crawls done with Screaming Frog to look at 404s. There needs to be crawls done with like SEMrush or Ahrefs to see link chains. I'm linking to this URL, but it's redirecting to this other URL, which is the rel canonical, right? We want to fix that and have our internal links linking to the rel canonical. We also want to check and link anchor text to make sure we're not linking to this post with this anchor text, and on another page we have this anchor text linking to another post. Certainly we want to modify those anchor texts if those two pages can live simultaneously. If they can't and they're just cannibalizing each other, we would certainly combine that content, fix those internal links to make sure they're going to the new rel canonical, whichever one you chose, and redirected the other one to it. So there's lots of changes. There's lots of 404s that happen in time. You want to be manicuring the site. You want to be looking at your internal linking structure. You want to make sure that we're internally linking to resources that are old and still powerful, and vice versa. Getting that link depth as light as possible from 0, 1, 2, or 3, because your site isn't guaranteed to have a ton of Google crawl budget. So you certainly want to keep the most important things at least 1 or 2 clicks away from the homepage. Link opportunities, always look for new internal linking opportunities, and that is on your site. So we've got these great resources on the website, but we also know that people, when they read that resource, they're looking for another resource. There's an internal linking opportunity. Or we've got this section of additional ancillary content that we've written. Make the links super easy for them to get to those items very quickly. Make it as user-friendly as possible, because the bots will appreciate that. As they see that you've got a resource that also links out to additional resources, that people that look for that usually also look for these other things, it makes that page more authoritative and more trustworthy. And so these are link opportunities. That's why we keep it in a document. See what anchor text we're using, what internal links we've linked out from, and it's time consuming as heck, because you don't add all the pages to a website at once, and if you did, it would still be hard, because you would still have to go back and anchor text out to pages that hadn't existed when you produced that page. So that's the problem, is we've got internal linking opportunities to content that doesn't exist yet. And that's why we're always going forward and backward with our internal linking strategy. Setting up an internal linking strategy. So you want to link to the right things with the right anchor text. You're linking to relevant pages. You're linking to pages that have some sort of relationship. I like to call them horizontally related. Maybe not more important, but kind of on the same line. And then we want to link to valuable pages, pages that are vertically important. What should be upstream from this page? What should this page never outrank? Certainly we want to have that link higher up in the content, and then these horizontal links from those pages, all creating massive value for the end user. And it makes it easier on the bots to understand what should be served when a certain query pops in Google. So breadcrumb navigation, super important for the bots and for end users. Allows the users to see how far down they are in the navigational hierarchy. Oftentimes you can click back on those breadcrumbs and get back up a level. Maybe you clicked a link and went down to a resource, and that wasn't what you were looking for. Boom, back to that page, and I'm back to that that utilitarian page that kind of shows me all the content a site might have. Make sure the anchor text in the breadcrumb is keyword rich. Along with the main nav items. We certainly don't want it to be long and obnoxious. 1-2 words is plenty. Now, link depth. So as a website grows and gets older, it's certainly going to have older content. And if we're not mindful of our internal linking strategies, you could have 10 blogs written and your page only serves 8, your blog role only serves 8 blogs at any given time. Immediately those first 2 blogs, even if they're the best 2 blogs, push to page 2. So a user of your site might need to hit next. And that's not a big deal. People don't really do that. They don't go to people's blogs and peruse their blogs, right? They're going to Google's search engine and then looking for the most relevant option. So assuming you've given that content enough to be indexed well and the site has authority and there's internal links linking to it, fantastic. But what happens when a year later when you've written another 60 blogs and not all of them are that great? And some of them are quite frankly a waste of space. Well, then you've got this really great resource, now 6 next buttons back. And for all intents and purposes, that is outside the crawl budget for Google, usually, not all the time. And we might even consider that orphaned. It's just too far back. And so usually it will keep its relevance in the site, but how do we make sure it maintains its relevance and its authority in the site? Continue to add internal links from newer articles down to that authoritative one. Don't cannibalize it with new articles about the same thing. Write additional pieces that we know the people that have read that may also want to read this. So we take that old post, link to these pieces, link the new piece of content down to the old piece of content, and now we're working on our internal structure, reducing our link depth. Certainly be mindful of how many times you link to resources, because every time you link to a resource, it tells the algorithms this page must be really important if this web property is linking to it 15 times, whereas its main service pages are only getting 3 links. and this is stuff we have to track over time to make sure we're not accidentally setting a weird page rank. I've seen sitemaps on websites have the most links, which can be done easily. I've seen weird privacy policy pages be linked to the most times on a website, where your home page and your main interior pages aren't even the most linked to pages. Certainly, we want to look at this, take this as a piece of information that we consider when we're setting up our site architecture. Static keyword-rich URLs, if possible, match up the slug, the title, the H1, the keyword percent or the cloud and what the percent is there with the synonyms we're using, the H2, the variants we're using, the images we use. We certainly want to be able to weave the keyword into the name of the file, the title, the alt text. We certainly want to have key-rich everything, not in a stuffed way because we've got it through different elements of the site, of the page, and then the content is great. It's not keyword stuffed because we're using a cloud, we're using synonyms, we're talking in a way that users are consuming it and liking it, reading it, staying on it, and sharing it. At the same time, we're paying attention to what the bots need to understand the relevance of that specific page. That's internal linking. If you need to watch that, go back and watch that now. If not, I'll see you in the next module.